We are here, it's week 2, maybe a little tiny bit more insightful because we've seen some teams. And
make no promises.
We might have the game of the year on tap on the same night. The NFL's playing fake games.
Certainly the most hyped game of the year with Metamora and Washington, the old Woodford/Tazewell County grudge match.
I had a diehard Metamora fan text me this week and goes, "I guarantee the Birds lose this game." Oh. I don't know where he placed that, but that's one of the diehards.
No.
Got here in '95. Every year there's, the number one contender to Metamora. Sometimes, one year they lost a few, but usually it's still Metamora by a number of touchdowns in their biggest challenge. What's the case this time?
There's at least a little bit of a question mark this year as opposed to the last couple of years because of the newness of their offensive line, the newness of the guys on defense, sort of the unknowns. They played Riverside Brookfield last week, so they haven't really played a real offense yet. So we have yet to see them play a real offense.
The best player in the room belongs to Washington, no?
Certainly the most accomplished player in the room with Colton Underwood, who's headed off to ISU, who he's going to be a big fish in a small pond there. So he's certainly a Division I, a Big Ten type talent in the mix, and he's going to ISU. But you look at guys like Michael Fay and Aaron Peters. I was
just going to say those names.
Those guys are, when it comes to being a high school player, are certainly on par with Colton.
Okay, call it.
Metamora by 2 touchdowns and a field goal, so 17 range in there. It'll be close for 2.5 quarters, and then they'll kind of just pull away, I think. And
as much as I would love to go with my friend from Birdland on this one, I think I'm going to have to go the same way and say the Birds win 21-18.
Really, that close?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm looking more like a 35-21 type of thing, 35-20 in that range.
There's no love lost when Limestone goes to Pekin. Right?
What's funny is Pekin's only won 3 games in the last 2 years, and 2 of them have been over Limestone. So this is a game that, Limestone, both these teams last week kind of spun their wheels a little bit and feel like they can win. Both of them feel like they can win this game. With Sean Saylor at Limestone still trying to mix in some new stuff. Obviously, Coach Nutter at Pekin's new to that system. So,
to what extent do you think that they came away feeling good? But the quotes in the paper made it feel like Pekin left Richwoods after getting pasted early, feeling halfway decent about themselves because they finished well.
Yeah, they did, and it was sort of the opposite with Limestone. They left the game against Notre Dame feeling bad about themselves. Yeah. So I could see Pekin maybe using that momentum a little bit, even though their starters did it against Richwood's second team, while Limestone kind of fell apart. Its first team fell apart a little bit, but I'll give credit to Notre Dame last week against Limestone. They really adjusted well and shut down Tyler Ashby for Limestone, who had a really impressive last week.
But what do we like?
I like Limestone in this one. I think they have more weapons, and I think they ran into. I just think they're getting close. It's just they have too much talent and too well coached to just continue to just lose these close games.
I will go Limestone as well.
Canton's at EP. Canton didn't do so well up at Winnebago in a game none of us saw.
Canton struggled a little bit. New coach, a lot of new faces. East Peoria to use your term, a bounce back game for EP. Kind of got run over last week against Woodruff, and they're too. That junior class, who are now seniors, that senior class, and a little too prideful after a playoff season last year to lose 2 in a row like this. So.
Did they all pull hammies chasing Birch?
Probably.
They're going to be all right. So that's EP in a home 2 touchdown thing.
More, I think.
Morton and Dunlap's another nice MI game.
Yeah, this is interesting because you kind of got Morton coming off a really nice showing against Sterling, who is regarded as one of the top teams in 5A, and took him like a minute stretch of the fourth quarter and decided that game. And Dunlap, on the other side of the coin, lost a 20-point lead to Galesburg and blew that game. So what I thought was an easy Dunlap win, now a little more of a balanced type of thing. And I'm leaning toward Dunlap winning it because it's too early to go against my preseason pick of Dunlap. But certainly wasn't surprised. Morton came in last year in 26-7, I believe.
The Peoria High Lions will call Richwood Stadium home. I suppose that's happened before. I just don't remember.
They did it last year.
Rock Falls is the opponent, the basketball school that never puts this sport together. Can Central get to 1-1?
Probably not. Actually, for as much struggling as Rock Falls has done in the last few years, they kind of feel like this is a team that can, because of a relatively soft schedule, can get to 5 wins again in the playoffs. So Central's going to be a victim of this game. They'll hang in early like they did last week against Springfield Southeast, but they just don't have enough bodies.
Princeton, Ohio at Manual Peoria Stadium, 7. Kind of kicks off Manual Centennial Week, which culminates next week when they have Macomb in the afternoon.
Absolutely. Princeton played a tough game last week against Rockridge. Both teams coming off rough losses, actually. I had kind of Princeton picked as a favorite in their Week 1 game because not a lot of people spoke well of Rockridge in the preseason, but we'll see what happens. I think you have to give the edge to Princeton still. I mean, last year.
I smell the Rams getting one here.
That's kind of how I feel, too.
Richwood's at Galesburg. It's, a test more for Galesburg. Are they up to this?
This is, like I said, we talked a little bit before this about sort of determining what level Galesburg is at. Yeah, they really have some high hopes. Richwoods is a great test for them. I like Richwoods to sort of handle them again as usual, because Richwoods will, they'll do the right things. They'll come out, they'll play hard, they'll do the fundamentals that I think maybe a Galesburg team that's still learning and growing won't.
Wouldn't Galesburg have to beat them on speed, but can't necessarily do that?
Not this year. I think Richwoods has some nice pieces.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
T.J. Cole and Mike Davis and Tevin Hicks and guys like that. Really, the whole Richwoods is slow thing, I think, is kind of a misnomer with this team.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Galesburg definitely has speed.
Sure.
And we saw that at state track and boys, and they got 4th or something. A lot of those kids are still around.
Right.
But this is Knights by 10.
In that range, yeah, I think so.
Woodruff goes to Streeter and finds a team that they had some good games with the last few years, but Streeter's a little off back to where I was used to them, and that's the bottom of that league.
Yeah. This is
I don't want to bury him yet, but
Kelly Kane's last season, and he lost a lot of pieces to that second-round team that last year that took Metamora to the wall relatively compared to. They gave Metamora the best game last year in the playoffs in the second round, and it was at Malone. So, but a lot of those pieces are gone, and Woodruff has speed to burn, and Sycamore kind of hurt Streeter last week with their speed. So
the Ghosts play Notre Dame.
Ghosts do play Notre Dame. They're a little banged up. Cody Kensel out with a high ankle sprain, which seems to be a recurring theme the last 2 years in Chile. After James Lauber and Jake Elias both missed time last year with high ankle sprains. So Kensel's going to be out at least a couple weeks. That kind of hurts their running attack. That'll kind of fall on Dan Sentner now. So we'll see if they can muster some offense against the Notre Dame team that was real impressive in Week 1, bouncing back against Limestone.
Yeah, we'll see.
The next point Notre Dame gets on IVC will be the first, won't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
in the Golickson era, and Tom didn't have the greatest trip up to Chillicothe last year, if you remember right.
No.
But this one's tighter, and IVC wins. Is that the story?
That's exactly how I feel. Yep.
Or do you think Notre Dame?
I might have to say the Irish here.
Uh-oh. You're going to lose your card, whatever kind of key to the city you got. It's BPC A, Bushnell Prairie City, Avon.
Yes.
Atawai West, which is, what, Carthage?
Carthage. Carthage, La Harpe, Dallas City.
Sidelight, what happened to Rushville? They got killed. They used to be good out there. But, okay, Carthage, always good. By a different name. Bushnell,
yes.
Really a nice set of athletes in that school.
Absolutely. BPCA gave them all they wanted for a half last year, and then they kind of made some adjustments. And
Is this game in Bushnell?
This game is at Illini West. If it was in Bushnell, I wouldn't be at Peoria Stadium tomorrow night. No offense, guys, but this is going to be a heck of a ball game.
As the big school beat guy, as long as I've been here, 4 words I've learned: never pick against Carthage. So. Yeah,
I still got to go with Illini West in this one, but it's going to be a heck of a ball game, and I think.
I'm going to take the Bushnells. It's time.
All right.
So that's it. Week 2 is really going to start taking some shape. Don't forget the snap all over pjstar.com.
That was a very pretty picture of our photographers in the ads the other day.
Stanzi new scoreboard with some box scores up there on Friday night and all those good things. These guys will pick every game, some we didn't get to, the heights and whatnot in the Friday paper. Thanks for joining us. See you next week. Bye-bye.